I mean, was it last week? Nah, cause when he in his class last week like that, I think it was Monday. Either way, go. We learned about fucking sources, bias source, bias this, whatever, basically. And I mean, I kind of already knew about this stuff, cause I mean, common sense, but common sense ain't so common like he taught me. Uh, But yeah, we learned about what is biasness, what sources are biased, and how can you know what sources are biased and stuff. And basically, sources such as like Apple, Samsung, anything that is a source for information to be found. And we learned, well, everybody should know what bias mean. And if you don't know what bias mean, then I will let you know. Like, bias is basically something that you take a side for. That, let me put this in another way, so I'm gonna make it simpler for people, because you might understand the way I say it, but other people won't. But biasness is like being prejudiced. Damn, some people might not even know that word.
Hold on, say that word again. I missed it.
Prejudice.
Prejudice. Ah, okay. And some people might not know that. Do you need help explaining it?
Yeah. If you feel like you got more to add on, I'm gonna still say mine, but you can say yours too, because we can probably write two different definitions for it.
Mm-hmm.
So bias in terms of me would be like favoring or going against another side or one person or a group in a way that is like unfair.
What do you mean when you say unfair, Popsicle? What the hell? Oh shit. I might just let you say it, and I'm gonna ask the appropriate questions to get you to the answer that you want to get to. But yeah, what do you mean when you say unfair? Like, elaborate.
Like, let's say like unfair, like you have like no reason to not like some or to like some just because. Like, alright, I'm gonna give you an example. Like a football team, or either, no, I'm gonna give it a better, like Apple and Samsung. Let's say that you wanna buy an Apple phone, but no, let's say you don't have a phone and you're trying to buy a phone, and you're trying to decide whether or not you want to buy an iPhone, which is Apple, or a Samsung or a Galaxy in that area. Or matter of fact, make it even better. Let's say you want to buy a laptop. You want to buy a Mac, which is Apple, or
damn, nigga, fuck. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
Alright, I would say you want to buy a computer. It's your first time ever buying a computer. You want to buy a Mac, or you can buy like a Dell or something from Microsoft or whatever. And you go to the Apple store, and the Apple store, you be like, what should I buy? Should I buy a Mac, or should I go buy like a computer from Microsoft? Of course, the people in the Apple store are going to try to persuade you to buy a Mac because they work for Apple. And if you don't do your job, which is sell the products in your store, what's the point of you working there? So the reason why I would say Apple will be biased towards their products is because Apple needs to sell their products. They need to make money, and of course they're going to make their merchandise or products seem better than the other companies.
All right.
And there's a lot of people who also work at Apple that only had Apple products. They never had Microsoft products or any computers dealing with Microsoft. So they have no information on which is better. The only reason they are saying that Apple is better because that's the only thing that they have, or that's the only thing that they have known. And because Apple seems to be a bigger brand because a lot of people buy it over Microsoft. But in real facts, it's like if you was a person that actually had Apple and a Microsoft, and you actually did the research and actually did your own knowledge to figure out which one would be better, then I wouldn't say you would be biased. Well, you still can, but it's more unlikely for you to be biased because you
Because
try
you
both the
can look at it
products.
more definitively.
Yeah.
All right,
So
understood. So what you're saying
that's
is basically, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, he ain't have BT, and I thought she was gonna get my ass. But so what you're basically saying is bias is nothing more than a heavy opinion that you have about anything, but the
hmm
opinion is guided based off of your personal experience with that particular opinion. So like,
exactly.
all right, I like it. A good way to put it in your own words too. I just had to clarify that up for the audience. But now continue, please. She must be chasing your ass.
But yeah, that's what you would call biasness. Such as a lot of time things, such in sports. People might like Atlanta because they are from Atlanta. And that is a stupid way to look at teams. It's just like, oh, I only like Atlanta because I'm from here. Like, dude, what, that's not right. Like, I ain't gonna say it's not right, but nigga, you ain't even never
Cause,
been nowhere else. You
cause the
only know
Falcons
Atlanta.
suck.
Exactly, and you only claiming them because you've been from here. Like, you never really experienced any other teams like that. I mean, you watched them and stuff, but still. That's another reason you be biased. But we talked about biased sources, which I guess gave you examples as the Apple Store, Microsoft, any source that could be biased, such as even Wikipedia. Because you know anybody can go on Wikipedia and type whatever the hell they want on there, which is retarded. It's not a good source to go to.
Mhm.
Um, but over the years, I mean, it has gotten better. I would say Wikipedia, but it's still not a good source to rely on in
There you
search
go.
of information.
Facts. You should always go to as many sources as pop. First of all, argumentatively speaking, you should always try to gather as many sources as you can.
Exactly. Another bias source. This was a hard one for me. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was something that came up into one of my work. I think it was like one of my works. Oh my god. One of the questions on my homework. It was like, what would you call a bias source? And the question was, matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up on my phone. I got y'all, cause it's in there somewhere. Let me go find it.
I'm fucking up. What the fuck? Man, what's up, bro? Like, I'm really shitting right now. Like, on myself,
Like,
though.
you know,
Whoa, calm down. This is one match. You
over
was
there,
doing that
my
over
other
several
dude.
Bro, I have all of the clips, and it's going on YouTube, bro. I promise. Bro. Yes, it was several matches. The whole clip is literally titled "Popsicle Sucks."
I did.
This nigga talking about some, oh, but when I did, nah, nigga, this is just one match. Calm down, sir.
What it is, critical thinking communication. I think she coming back over there.
Nah, she came to me. Oh, you are next to me. Damn, my stupid ass. Yeah, I'm dead.
Mm.
Damn, she tried to. Hey, bro, this nurse is low key good. No, she mid key good, bro. Cause Jake was doing her ass for a good minute. He did her for 2 gens, basically.
Mm.
Damn, you ain't moving. Now you got us fucking losing.
What the hell is this? I think it's a gene up, huh?
Bro, that's crazy though, bro. Because a lot of people, their mindset, they literally can't even see that they have these prejudices and biases. Because y'all, bias and prejudices are interchangeable terms. And we can. Damn, I feel like I'm so sorry, fan man. I really am. Oh, I'm so sorry, fan man.
Yeah,
Like,
what the hell is going on here?
bro, this nurse is really, bro, she hasn't even chased you yet, right?
Not really, no.
So, bro, you don't even realize how good she actually, bro. Her
You think
blinks
so?
are so. I ain't gonna say she good because that's me being prejudiced right there. The perfect example. Because of my experience with this nurse, now I'm saying that she's good, but she probably not good at all. She probably just got lucky, or maybe I'm just because obviously I already said it. I'm just sucking right now. I have no excuse for them deaths. None of them. Yeah, I'm really sorry. Like that fan, man. I know she's mad at me. What's her name? Silly Trent. All right.
So the question was basically like find a bias source. Like who would be a bias source? And one of the questions was like,
You're not gonna try to escape? 4%.
is it
I know you don't got the numbers, but I'm also listening.
but yeah, one of the questions was like, how often do women suffer dangerous complications from abortion? And it's like,
Hold on. Say that one more time.
how often do women suffer dangerous complications from an abortion? And of course, my first answer was, I mean, it got to be correct. I ain't gonna say it got to, but pretty sure it was. But my first answer to that was women would be a bias source because they are the only ones who can experience that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they can only be the only ones who can really answer, like, what are their complications for it. But then again, I just thought about it. I sat back and thought, and I'm just like, how would that relate to a man, though? Because, you know, they can have complications from an abortion, too, at the same time.
This is a very touchy subject, but continue. I'm
But,
listening.
and I'm just like, okay, woman is a bias force because they don't when they feel it. Then again, I'm just like, well, why wouldn't they add men in that too? Because they can feel complications to it too. So it's like
You
50
gotta
50.
elaborate though, cause I'm very lost right now. You've lost me, and I know you've lost the viewers. And like I said, this is a very touchy subject, so try to be as sensitive as possible. I mean, as considerate as possible in your explanation.
Okay, the reason why I say why aren't men like in that question too, because it's like, okay, yes, we know y'all carry the babies for 9 months, we know y'all make it, we know y'all do all that, and then for you to get an abortion to kill the baby after y'all been carrying it for not even 9 months, y'all don't carry it for that long. But let's say if you did want a baby and then, matter of fact, I ain't even gonna say that because women have full control of whether or not they want an abortion or not, because they can reject or do it if they want to. So either way it go, that's why I said I don't really know because it's like how like
You
if
need to
they want to
explain.
abort.
No, all right. My apology. I think because I'm like this has nothing to do with what you just said. It does, but it don't. Because I'm talking about when you said that men can feel complications. What do you mean by that? That was a bold claim that you just made.
Oh, what I mean by that is, let's say a man did want a child and he had sex with his partner and she ended up having a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And he's thinking that basically like, oh yeah, I got a kid, blah blah blah, this and that, I'm happy. But she goes behind his back, goes to the abortion clinic, and aborts the baby without him knowing, and then
So
comes back home. And there's nothing like basically she acting like everything is normal, and doesn't let him know. So he's waiting for 9 months or however long before he just notices like, yo, what's going on? Like what happened with the baby, and then she finally tells him like, "Oh, I aborted the baby." And
So you're oh, okay. Go. My apologies. Go ahead.
that man can feel complications from that too because it's like he wanted the child for so long, and then basically you just basically killed this child without him knowing, and you ain't even tell him basically that you didn't want a kid and all this stuff, and that can take a toll on men too. So.
So what you're basically all right, cool. Because now that I kept thinking you were done and you wasn't. My apologies for that. But so what you're basically saying is, wow, and first of all, let's get this straight. So when you say complications, or at least in females, right? What were you talking about? Were you talking about physical complications? What do you mean by that? Because
Mental.
obviously, all right, cool. So now we're both on the same page because I wasn't on your page. I had an idea of what you might have been talking about, at least for the men. Because I thought about, I'm like, how the hell can men have complications? He has to be talking about their mental. All right, I got you now. So you're saying that the same way that the female, if they abort a baby, have mental complications, is the exact same way that a male can have mental complications. Even though we are both in agreement that yes, like the female is the one that has to carry it. The female is the one that really has all the control, and it's her body, and she should definitely have the right to do whatever she wants. But at the end of the day, she and we should not deny that men also are impacted by the female's decision as well. That
Mm-hmm.
all right, cool. I just wanted to go ahead and clarify that up, everyone. We're not saying that don't do it, and I understand that this is a sensitive topic. That's why I told Pastor to be considerate when talking about it. But we're just saying that men can have mental complications as well, because if he wanted that child, he's gonna be very, very upset, and who knows, he might even go into a prolonged state of depression. You don't know the effect that you'll actually have on him from doing that. And the same with the females. Females' bodies are different because of hormones and things. So yeah, the effect on y'all bodies that y'all can actually have on y'all cells when going through with that. So yeah. All right. So continue. Now you can finish posticles if you even remember where you was.
But yeah, that's why I was basically like, that's some bullshit. But that's why I was basically like, okay, I really don't know whether or not to say if the female is biased or the man is biased, because it's like plenty of men went through that situation, and then lots of women went through that situation. I mean, obviously, just is talking about women, so of course the answer gonna be women. But in my terms of me thinking, overthinking this stuff, that's where the men came into the part into it. Like, why can't I put men?
Yeah, exactly. I understand that, and the way that females look at it is it's not their body. They're not the ones carrying it, so they shouldn't even have the right to talk about it. But I feel like and like I said, this is a very sensitive topic, so I'm not gonna say everything that I actually want to say, but I definitely feel like we as a human race, as one collective species, whilst yes, the female is the one that really feels all of the physical, things that's going on with her body when this is happening. Men should also, and I'm not trying to say that females shouldn't have the right, because it's so crazy how people can twist what you say. It's amazing. But I'm not saying that y'all should not have the right to do whatever it is that y'all want to do with y'all body. Ultimately, it is y'all decision. No one should force y'all to have a baby, and no one should force y'all to have an abortion. But at the end of the day, I do feel as though this is something that should be talked about by everyone, not just females, because everyone is affected by it. We're one collective species. We're not barbaric animals. And I understand that's a bold claim to make, but but it's for the most part true. And it's sad that, you know, a lot of people can't have, or at least males can't have these conversations because, you know, females feel as though they be too insensitive and all this shit, and they don't really know what they're talking about. And some men don't. You know, I agree to a certain extent. Some men don't have the right to talk about that shit at all because all they're going to say is a bunch of ridiculousness, and nobody needs that. Oh my gosh! But I was done. Do you got anything to add to that? I'm on the pallet. I'm on the whole pallet.
You should have said that a little bit earlier.
Bro, my apologies, bro.
Fuck. And I'm dead.
That's hilarious, dude.
Then another quote. I ain't even gonna say I had tricks with it, but it was like 50-50 too. It was like basically, well, vouchers for private schools improve education in the United States, and I'm just like, a biased source could be the private like schools, but a biased source could be like the people who are going to those schools too. So it was kind of 50-50 on that. I'm just like, I really don't know who to pick, but I picked private schools. So
the private schools in general, man.
Like
so
any
why
private
do you
school.
say? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Private schools in general.
Yeah.
But my thing is, why do you feel that way? Let's do this, John.
Before I just say why, I'm gonna explain all of it. But the reason why I say it's 50-50 because private schools, of course, they're gonna say vouchers are better because it's like if they have vouchers, then they have a better chance of getting the right people in their schools. For one, because if they get the right people in their schools, they basically get to choose who and when people come to their school. If they have the right people in their school, then they have a better environment in school. Also, better scores in school, better grades, all that. So it'll make their school look better in general. But the reason why I say it could be 50-50, yeah, she lagging. The reason why I could say 50-50, like for the people who's going there, is because the kids who are going to private schools could just say, "Oh, it's better because I get to meet some of the same people that relates to me, or I can work better with some of the same people that I feel like should come to my school that are in the range, like to get the vouchers, like I am." Or it's better because when I go to this school, I won't have ignorant people there. I can learn better, you know. I don't know. It's just different.
All right, understood. I understand. I'm with you so far.
But the reason why I picked the private school over like the people going there is because
hey, no healing, bro. Bring your ass over here and get me off this floor.
What the hell? Oh, you over there? Huh?
Nah, it's too late. Yeah, it's too late. Never mind. Yeah, I might well finish it.
He running away from me. But the reason why I picked private school is because.
Pop. Oh my gosh, he broke the
reason why I picked them is because they're going to be more biased in general because they're the school. They need the right people to come to their school to make them look better. You know? But,
so they need the right people to come to school to make them look better. There's a reason why everyone can't go to private schools. And then also private schools cut you off from actual life because they hit you, or some of them at least can put all these dogmas on you and shit, and then now it clouds your own thinking process because one of the greatest things about public schools, and don't get me wrong, I'm not for or against public schools, but what I will say about public schools is that it shows you a lot more about how the real world works versus private school, because you literally get some of literally everyone is welcomed at public school. So you get some of all kinds of nationalities, you get all kinds of everything there. You know what I'm saying? You get all kinds of teachers, you know, of different backgrounds. Some teachers that really don't even care to teach, but they do it just to get their paycheck. You get to see all of it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us don't look at it that way while we're going through school, but once you actually reflect on it, you realize, you know what I'm saying? Private schools don't really have fights for real. And I've spoken to three different people that went to three different private schools. Obviously, my statistics is a very low research value, so therefore, I could be a lot wrong, but it is a fact though that public schools have way more fights or physical altercations than private schools. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, you're exposed to a lot more savagery in public schools versus private schools, or at least in that category. But you dead now, right? You can finish what you were saying.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I picked them because they're gonna be my buddy, like you said, basically. For one, they don't have a diversity of the kids, so they get to pick who they want. For two, they need better test scores because they're a private school. If a private school don't have the right test scores and all this, don't nobody want to go to their school. So ain't nobody gonna pay for their school because that school is gonna look bad. So they need the right people to come for the test scores. Then on top of that, they might pick different students based on how they look. Because this world is kind of retarded. Just because he look this type of way, he might have this type of money, so he might pay for this school. Just retarded. And that's really what I got for that. Really, on why I picked private school to be like a bias source.
All right.
Because me normally, if you was to just go to somebody who works at a private school or a private school and be like, hey, should I go to a private school or should I go to a public school? Like, of course they're gonna be like, oh, you need to come here. No, they're gonna be like, damn, why did I say that? Gonna be like, should y'all have vouchers in order to come to school? Of course they're gonna be like, yes, you need a voucher to come because for one, we need to make sure your test grades are right. For two, we need to make sure we know how you act in our school. Blah blah blah. This dumb shit.
Yeah. And so when you're stating these things, right? Are you stating these things off the simple premise that this is fact, or are you stating this thing off your own, what your research? So what you've done is you made a definitive claim, or are you yourself being biased towards this topic?
I'm not being biased. I have talked to people who have went to private school. Actually, I did have a friend who went to a private school, and I asked him how it was like in there. So I'm just using some of the research from which he gave me.
All right, good. That's all right. But I just
And I
wanted
know,
to clear that up for all
and
the
I know,
audience.
yeah. And then on top of that, you can
Ready
use
up.
some. You can use schools such as what was that school back in high school and middle school? Was it MD Roberts that look? MD Roberts? I'm not sure. But it was like I think MD Roberts they had to come in. Everybody had to dress in a suit and tie. The girls had to wear certain skirts and a uniform shirt, and that was just mandatory every day, every single day. Their test scores had to be right in order to go to that school. You had to act right. It's just like, bro, like simple stuff like that you can really acknowledge in a private school. So. And then the information I got from him is just like, that's why I picked it. Of course, they're gonna say, "Oh, yeah, I think we should have vouchers because I need you that right in the school. I need somebody who's gonna be able to pay. I need somebody who has good test scores. We need these type of people to represent our school because if our school isn't represented in a good way, there's nobody who's gonna want to come to our school. Nobody's gonna pay for our school, and if nobody pays for our school, then eventually we're gonna shut down. And it's just." No, a bunch of
Uh,
stuff.
all right, and just to be clear, it isn't MD Roberts because MD Roberts is in the district of Clayton County Public Schools, unless there's another MD Roberts that I don't know about. But I just wanted to clarify that because like I said, you know how people on the internet are. I don't want because maybe obviously this is not gonna get a lot of views now, but imagine when I actually blow up or something like that, and then they get a clip of you saying some incorrect shit. So I just want to clarify that up for everyone and for YouTube purposes to not
It's not a
spread
private school.
misinformation. But I get what you're saying though because they're naturally going to be biased.
Mm-hmm.
They're naturally gonna be biased, and they're gonna always, if you question someone that works there, or a person from private school, like, of the faculty, they're gonna basically say, for the most part, yeah, come to the school, it's a nice school, and blah blah blah, and try to persuade you. So I like that. That was a good one. Do you have anything else to say about that topic?
Nope.
That was it. All right, y'all. Y'all had it here. Biases with Don's Gaming.